Today I'm going to talk about Indian Oil Corporation and the presentation I've made today. So, the contents of the presentation are company overview, company leadership, brief history, business structure, mission, vision and values, objectives, SWOT analysis, marketing mix, financial analysis, shareholding percentage, CSR initiatives, recent happenings, and then the conclusion. So let's go with the company overview. In September 1964, Indian Refineries Limited and the Indian Oil Company were merged into the Indian Oil Corporation, and it was a state-owned organization that has its government as the main promoters, holding around 56.98%, and the rest of them are held by the public. It is ranked India's first in Fortune India 500 list for year 2016 and 17, and the Fortune Global 500 list in the world largest companies in the year 2019. As of 31st March 2017, Indian Oil employees strength is around 33,135. So as you can see here, during 1958 and 1959, it merged into Indian Oil Corporation here, and then later on it merged on with other privatized companies like Assam Oil, Indian Oil, IOBA 2006, and IBP and BRPL. So Indian Oil company leadership would be Chairman Sanjeev Singh, G.K. Satish, who is the Director of Planning and Development, and the nominated government nominated directors are Ashutosh Jindal, Indrani Kaushal. Now, going to a brief history on the company from 1948 to 2002, the government of India passed its industrial policy resolution, which stated that only oil industry should be owned by the state and operated. And in 1958, the government forms its own refinery company. In 1959, it is founded as a statutory body to supply oil products to the Indian state enterprise. In 1964, the company merged to form the Indian Oil Corporation, which is known as IOCL as of today. The Boma Shell and the Caltex refineries were nationalized. Half of India's 12 refineries are operated by Indian Oil by 1981, and the company's 7th refinery is commissioned at Panipat largest refinery, which is the largest refinery as of now. And 2002, the Indian petroleum industry got deregulated. Coming to the business structure, Indian Oil is supposed to be called as the flagship Maharatna National Oil Company, with the business ranging from refining, pipeline transportation, marketing, exploration and production of crude oil and gas, petrochemicals, gas marketing, alternative energy sources, and globalization of downstream operations. And also it has global aspirations fulfilled to extend the formation of subsidiaries in Sri Lanka, Mauritius, UAE, Sweden, USA, and the Netherlands. So coming to refineries, out of the 23 refineries, Indian Oil owns 11 of them, and the capacity of Indian Oil is around 80.7 MMT, which is million metric ton per annum. And it accounts for the 35% share of the oil refinery. So as you can see here, the main business structure, which is refineries division, pipeline division, the finance division, the marketing division, human resources, and research and development. So in pipelines, it operates a network of around 14,189 kilometers of crude oil and petroleum products and gas pipelines with a throughput of around 94.79 million metric tons per annum of oil. Throughput is about the refinery capacity over a period of time. So 9.5 million metric standard cubic meters per day of gas is also been recorded by Indian Oil. In petrochemicals, it is identified as a prime driver of future growth by Indian Oil. The corporation is envisaging an investment of rupees 30,000 crore in the petrochemical business in the next few years. In natural gas, Indian Oil took up natural gas marketing in 2004. And it also has R&D division, exploration and production division, explosives and cryogenics division. Cryogenics really relates to the experiments by the scientific community that relates to experiments on minus 1 degree Celsius experiments. So the mission of Indian Oil would be to ensure maintenance of continuous and smooth supplies of petroleum products by the way of crude oil refining, transportation and marketing activities, to provide appropriate assistance to consumers to conserve and use petroleum products efficiently. Since the company is being held by stakeholders from the private and also the government, they have a shared vision. As you can see here, it's a 6 cornerstone matrix, which comes with ethics, where they set high standards and values. People leading with passion to excel, innovation with pioneering and spirit of creativity and research, environment, caring for the environment and community, technology, harnessing frontier technology, customers, fostering relationships for a lifetime. It is also infused with the core values of care, innovation, passion and trust, which stakes in the collective conscience of the company and its people, and have helped it to grow and achieve new heights of successful year after year. And the company's objectives are to ensure and maintain continuous smooth supplies of petroleum products, and to provide appropriate assistance to the consumer to conserve and use petroleum products efficiently, to earn a reasonable rate of interest on investment, to work towards the achievement of self-sufficiency in the field of oil and oil refining by setting up adequate capacity and to build up expertise in the laying of crude and petroleum product pipelines, to minimize fuel consumption in refineries and stock losses in marketing operations to effect energy conservation, to serve the national interests in the oil and related sectors in accordance and consistent with government policies, and then to avail all the viable opportunities, both national and global, arising out of the liberalization policies being pursued by the Government of India, to maximize utilization of the existing facilities in order to improve efficiency and increase productivity, and then comes to optimize utilization of its refining capacity and maximize distillate yield from refining to crude to minimize foreign exchange outflow. Next, coming to SWOT analysis. Strengths of IOCL has its employees ranging from around 35,000 as of now, accounts for a majority share in the petroleum products market. IOCL is the largest India's largest commercial enterprise with a strong brand name, and its pipeline in India spans around more than 11,000 kilometers, making it one of the largest globally. Its weaknesses are high competition from other oil companies like HP. Bureaucracy affects the operations of a government. Bureaucracy affects the operations of a government-controlled company like IOCL. Opportunities are IOCL can tap on increasing demand and higher fuel or oil prices, increasing natural gas market for industries and transportation. Acquisition of smaller companies can further strengthen the position of IOCL. Whereas threats for IOCL are government regulations can slow down business, high competition means limited market share, NGOs and environment focused companies can be an obstacle in business. And coming to the fiscal analysis, the political and legal factors, the environment norms not being as stringent as the Western countries, foreign countries are more likely to set up manufacturing facilities in India. Removal of regulation over foreign oil and gas companies from the restricted list, giving the major industries in India to provide for global customers, hence increasing competition and increasing global competitors entering India. Now, when it comes to social cultural factors, lifestyle changes like demand for lighter automobiles, leading an increase in demand for oil and gas products, and probably a reason for high market growth rate. Economic factors, energy consumption being the chief consumer of energy in India. So the energy consumption has been top priority issue for the overall reduction of cost and also the point of view of national priority. When it comes to technological factor, a continuous emphasis on the research and development of new technologies to develop processes done by the government. In recent years, it has a general trend of importing the technologies and then setting up manufacturing and marketing indigenously. The company's subsidiaries as of today are Chennai Petroleum Corporations Limited, Indian Catalyst Private Limited, Urja Bharat Private Limited, Indian Oil Mauritius Limited, Lanka IOC Middle East FZE, IOC Singapore Private Limited, IOC LNG Private Limited, Indian Oil Technologies Limited, Indian Synthetic Rubber Limited, etc. And the competitors are in the public sector, Indian Oil, having them with Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum, and their private competitors are Reliance Industries and SR Oil. Now the marketing mix 4-piece product. Indian Oil Corporation's product portfolio in its marketing mix includes Indian gas, auto gas, natural gas, petrol, diesel, jet fuel, lubricants and greases, kerosene, industrial fuels, bitumen, petrochemicals, crude oil and some other special products. It is a leading player in petroleum and LPG with the brands like Indian LPG, Servo Lubricants, Autogas LPG, Extra Premium Petrol, Extra Mild Diesel and Propel Petrochemicals. Now when it comes to the pricing, they are segmented into geographical locations like metro cities, state capitals, national capital region. These prices are available in the company's website. The price ranges happen more often than not on a day-to-day basis. Now let us see some of the prices in each product category. Petrol price is varying between 66 to 77 per litre. Diesel prices between 56 to 64 and auto gas is at nearly 35 to 40. These prices are estimated with a national priority. Now when it comes to the place, it controls 10 refineries across the country, over 10,900 kilometers of pipeline connection, 132 kilometers of gas pipeline and nearly 37,000 plus customers touching points. Of these, 3,700 touch points to 20,575 are retail outlets. IOCL have an outlet in the world's highest point, nearly 6,000 LPG distribution stations, 6,218 bulk consumer pumps and nearly 100 aviation fuel stations. Now when it comes to promotion, it prints its advertisements and uses hoardings on every outlet as you see. Now coming to the financial analysis, this is the recent table taken from Money Control Research. You can find its inventory losses being impacting the profits and the earnings before interest, depreciation, tax and amortization also had a year-over-year decline in minus 35%. The profit before tax would be a huge decline year-over-year in minus 94.2% and profit after tax around minus 88.3%. And you can also see the segmental performance of the company with having petroleum products, petrochemicals and other businesses and the profits and margins also, as you can see here. So refinery throughput was up to 4.1% and pipeline throughput was up to 3% year over year. While volumes in the domestic business saw a 2.8% decline, export volumes dipped around 33% year over year. That is also 29.6% quarter over quarter. Finance costs rose to 27% year over year from 2018 to 2019.
10 seconds.
Financial info, as you can see here, shareholding percentage. promoters, others, financial institutions, foreign institutions, NBanks, mutual funds, general public, and central government. So the key CSR initiatives of Indian Oil are Indian Oil Arogyam, aids and assistive devices to Divya Manjan, Indian Oil Vidushi, and the robotic scavenging machine called Bandicoot, which has been replacing the human scavengers in South India. And the recent happenings are its standalone September net sales would cross around 11 lakhs. 1,11,689.68 crores, and to a market retail presence in West Asia is expected to first retail outlet in Saudi Arabia within 6 months by setting up an equal joint venture company with Riyadh-based group. And the awards and recognitions are Indian Oil conferred as India's greatest places to work. It is also the most fuel efficient operator of the year award. And as of 2019, Indian Oil bags awards for innovative CSR practices. So the conclusion is the Energy of India title is being given to Indian Oil is because a diversified integrated energy major with presence in almost all streams of oil, gas, petrochemicals and alternative energy sources, being a world of high caliber people, state-of-the-art technologies and cutting-edge R&D, a world of best practices, quality consciousness and transparency, and a world where energy in all its forms is tapped most responsibly and delivered to the consumer most affordably. Thank you.